G'day YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report. Well, today it's the 21st of June and it's the shortest day of the year. Well, I suppose the day is the same length, but the night's the longest and the daylight is the shortest. So I'm always pretty keen to get to this time of year. At the moment we go to work in the dark, we come home in the dark, and yeah, sunrise is 6:30 in the morning, or 6:30 I suppose, and yeah, you're coming home of an evening and it's dark as well. So yeah, so now the days are going to start to get longer. It seems like nothing happens for a bit, then they just gallop and we have our nice long days again. So it's around 11 or 12 degrees in the mornings, and the evenings, through the middle of the day, the evenings and the mornings are about 11 degrees. Through the middle of the day we're into mid-20s, so it's really nice working weather actually. Plenty of time to do things and get stuff underway. My entire week and weekend has been working on the 135. Yeah, I've got little rubbers on the air cleaner, and I didn't have a drawbar. I've had a drawbar bracket for it, but I had an old Ford 4000 bracket, and it was only a fly shit too thick, so I took it up onto the milling machine and I chucked a carbide paste mill along the top of it, and well, was it hard. Yeah. Look, I got about 20 odd thou out, but I was just buggering tips and buggering up 8 at a time, so I wasn't keen on continuing with that. But I ended up pretty well all Saturday afternoon. It was Saturday. Yeah, all Saturday afternoon with the angle grinder and the flapper discs and just slowly bringing it down. And I've got it fitting nicely now. The tongue that comes up over the top, I still need to go to town and get some bolts for that. The brakes on the left grabbing just a little bit earlier than the ones on the right. So I've just adjusted that up on the pedal here, and I've left the split pin long so I can get out and have a play with that. With the, I'm pretty sure they're 12.9, yep, 14.924 rear wheels on it. At 2200 RPM, I'm doing, by my GPS speedo on the phone, I'm doing 28 kilometres an hour. So that's pretty good. I've been touching up the paint. Where there was a little stain on the engine block, I've taken it up and I've degreased that and pressure cleaned it all off. Around the back linkage, I got the arms all cleaned up. I tidied them up and ground them back and tidied up the welds from last week and put them on. The stabiliser bars they're right on their inner limit, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but I even got myself a top link all painted up to match the tractor. It's oh, there we go, that's there. So I've stripped all this down and I've painted it out of the same can of paint as the tractor, so when that's on we're good to go. But look, I haven't been doing anything exciting apart from working on this. The thing that I'm going to be onto next week is the wiring. Now the wiring, there's a little black wire you can just see down here going along, and the wiring to the mudguards and to the lights is all complete, and those wires there go up to a fuse box. So I need to wire the headlamps yet, and I also need to wire the switch, the light switch and the indicators, and get all that off and racing too. So that'll be the afternoons this next week. I've been for a few trips into town to get pits and pins and bloody stuff, but anyway, that's just how it is. I'll have to order in a big drawbar pin, and I did a dummy run just earlier setting it up on my trailer, and I probably should be able to pop a couple of shops in here with that, or at the end, we'll just see. And with the 14.924s on the back, I've got about 2.5 inches each side going onto the trailer, so an inch is as good as a mile, eh? So, look, it sits up there okay. Yeah, about the same as a gold tractor, I suppose. We have a roll bar on this, but no roof. That'll help with wind resistance. This isn't a trekking tractor. It's just this is the 135 6-speed up to 6-speed series, and we're finally getting it finished. A couple of little things, yeah, the brake light wiring, the muffler's silver. I'm not all that fussed on that. I do like the white muffler, but I'm having real trouble. Even the heat-proof paint, and I've gone and bought aluminium paint, and it's just well, it's more of a silver frost than a white paint sort of thing. So, so I think the next bet will be I'll just sand that muffler back, and I'll get a bit of heat treat white and pop on there, and see how we go with it. Yeah, the James from Sparex came up the other day, and I got a levelling box for the tractor, and it says 135, but on my tractor the thread was too long, the male thread on the levelling block. So the only reason I did that is because no one had stock of the standard one or the bearing either to restore my old one, and I thought, well, I didn't have time to send the handle away and get chromed anyway, so I put that on, and it wouldn't go short enough. So this morning I ended up on the lathe, and yeah, up on the lathe I had to run the 3/4 thread up further and cut the end off, and look, it works good now, but that was sort of a bit of fiddling around. And the arms are welded on, or the ends are welded onto the linkage arms. I chose the flatter ones, just because they seem to fit better. But when I went to put them on the Cat 2 pin underneath the tractor, the pin's longer, so I had to machine up a little bush for that to hold it across, to bring the castellated nut across as well. So yeah, all these little things. I've just been finding little nicks and knacks and things like that that need doing, and it certainly takes the time. But it's about 3 o'clock Monday afternoon, and yeah, look, I'm about ready to head in and head up the house and have a tidy up and get ready for the week at work, really. So there's not much more I can do to this until I get the bolts for the drawbar, and the shed is an absolute bloody mess. But anyway, that's just how it is when I work. I seem to have a mess, so I'm not happy. I'm just looking at the colour. The colour's coming in the doorway here, and it looks like it's buggering up all my colour or something. But anyway, it doesn't matter. One stew, it won't matter if I look like a ghost, eh? Well, might be all the grey paint I've been sniffing. But yeah, look, it's all coming up nice. I've got the serial number stamped, but I haven't got it onto the dash yet. I had the proper stamps up the back, and I had one sitting somewhere, and you think I could find it. And so the serial number, I found that, and it's done. And the instructions on the side, I've got a new one of them somewhere, but anyway, who knows? It's there somewhere. And so I'll get that all on. But look, we're getting really close. The outside of the tractor looks like it's going to look. It's pretty well finished. I do have to test the brakes a bit more. On my Goldie, I can head down the driveway flat out and just hit the brakes, or on the bitumen hit the brakes, and they just pull up together, and you can lock them up. Where, like I said before, this one, the left brake is pulling on a little bit before, so I've changed the rod length, because when I did the brakes I jacked it up and I did both brakes evenly, so I know they're right. It's just the pedal height and all that. So with the pedals locked together, which you do for on the road, yeah, I'll just have to fiddle with that a little bit. And I only just realised before, I hadn't painted the little panel. The dash panel has a little slot for the multi-power lever, and this isn't a multi-power tractor, so I had the plate there, I just didn't paint it. So I've got it in primer. I'm waiting for something else to paint red before I put some in the gun. And on my little dash light that I just found again, and I looked and looked for that, and I could remember sitting it somewhere, but you think I could remember, and it was up on the up on where I service the cars, there's a little shelf there and I put it up there out of the way. So I found that again, but I remember that the glass was broken, so I'll probably try and get myself a new glass for that. And that'll sit up there nice and neat, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, there's not a lot to talk about this week apart from this tractor. That's all I've been doing. I've been coming home from work, hopping into it, and all weekend I've been on it this weekend. And it's just the little knickknacks that take the time. Yeah, it just blows me away that you can spend so much time on some of this stuff, but that's how it is. I was laying under it before and I noticed a little bit of, when I was painting it first time, it wasn't heavy enough, so I've just been underneath and laying underneath it and just fixing all that up. But look, all in all, it's a pretty good little tractor. We are pretty pleased with it. So hopefully, well, I want to get it properly finished. I don't want to call it finished and do the walk around the finished video. This is me tractor finished up the front yard, until it's properly finished and there's not a single thing I know needs to happen to it. So that'll be probably a weekend away anyway, I'm saying. But yeah, just making it my own. It shouldn't have an alternator on it. I like the alternators. This may do a bit of trekking, this tractor. I have a bracket for a flashing light up the top, but I've got to work out how I'm going to get power up to there. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how we go with that. But yeah, and people, I've had a couple of things on Facebook and a couple of photos as I go, and God, people pick on you, and I just don't do that. If someone does a tractor, I don't claim this is a concourse tractor. This is just a nice tractor, and it's not concourse. It's not exactly as it was out of factory. It's got my touches on it, but people really pick me up about not having the hubs grey. Well, in Australia they weren't, and I even got a private message, and a bloke messaged me through the Bundy Bear shed in big capital letters. The hubs were not red at any stage, they were grey. I thought, Christ, yeah, needs a bloody good lay down. But look, I've got brochures, Australian brochures, and they were red, and that's just why I've done them red. It would have been bloody sight easier not to paint the hubs. If you can recall back ages ago, I painted the hubs separately. It would have been bloody sight easier just to leave them grey. But so I've wanted it pretty close to as they were in Australia, but my filter housing on the other side isn't painted, where all the filters were painted and all that out of the factory. They didn't have time to root around, so there's a few things like that. Some of the CAD plating out the back, I had one sway chain. I didn't have a second one on any of my tractors, so I put an aftermarket set of them on, and I've had to shorten them. That was today. I worked out the length and measured the one I had, and you couldn't buy them anywhere, so I've used aftermarket ones. So there's a few little things like that. The linkage arms at the end, I've got the replaceable balls in there. Yeah, quite a few different things that I just noticed now that I haven't painted my knobs black on my hydraulics, so that'll be something. I'll probably do that one afternoon. I'll probably pull them all apart and sandblast them, then paint the knobs with probably pressure pack, I suppose, something like that, and let it set for a couple of days. So it's a fairly short stew this week. I haven't been doing anything apart from that, apart from this tractor here. And yeah, just tinkering, and there's not much to show. But I reckon another week I'll have it done, and then we'll be ready for our show at Billawheeler mid-July. It's going to go there. It could go tomorrow if it had to, with the wiring. If the headlights aren't wired up, it just doesn't matter a toss. But yeah, so look, and it is a sense of relief not to have this tractor sitting with no bonnet. Like it's been there, it must have been a year or more. So it is a relief to have it up this next stage. So after this one, we'll just hop onto that little TEA and we'll just finish that right off. So before we jump onto anything else. So I've got a couple of blokes coming next weekend to look at buying some gear out of the shed. The manifold grinder, blokes coming to have a look at the big lathe, the big Maxim. I'm going to let it go. I just don't use it, and it takes up a heap of room. and so the Maxon's going, it's going. I've got a heap of cane harvester blades and that there, having a look at them. Who knows whether it goes or not, doesn't matter. Been getting on alright now, so who knows, yeah. So look, that's about it for this week. It's a short stew. I will take you for a bit of a walk around the tractor, but it hasn't been an eventful week. It's just been Lance working on the tractor. So anyway, thanks for dropping by again. Have a good week, everyone, and look, we'll catch you next week. Well, here you go. Here's our little walk around. I've got a nice little rub around the air cleaner now. There's not much difference on the dash. I replaced all the wheel nuts. Remember last week I was complaining about having gold zinc on the wheel nuts. Well, yeah, talking to James, my Sparex rep, and he said, we got silver, I'll get you some of them, which I wasn't aware of. Now, the back end, oh, we've got a strange light today, haven't we? Yeah, the back end, they're gold cad. I don't know what's going on with the light. It looks, what I'm seeing with my real eye and what I see on the here are completely different. But anyway, so the back's done. The top of the drawbar's yet to be sat on. I'll just go and come over here and grab it, and it should probably sit about there. So I need to get the bolts for that. That's the levelling box. That's the one I've just recut threads and all that on, so that's looking okay. I've always liked these lights. These lights I brought in from Steiner out of America. They're all wired up under the guards and everywhere, but they're still got to be done properly. The filters and where the fuel stain was around the engine block, that's all pretty well done. So yeah, very white glary sort of day. So there you go. That's about it.